Salute. Vortisa. Emi Lola Timomo Hoya. The day of life. Divine risings and rotations. Beloved army, beloved arm. Kuumba. Creativity. In order to be creative, truly creative, and not just simply innovative or indoctrinated into an idea that you manifest over and over and over and over again, thinking that you're being creative, but the only thing it is that you're not exposing yourself to the information to understanding what you're thinking you're creating has already been created 1,000 times more. And in some cases, it's been created better because it wasn't your original idea. It was someone else's original idea. So they got the science of it. But we have to become creative in being parents. May that be parents to young or older people, aged people, seasoned people. Because understand that if your seed has become seasoned, in order for you to maintain the consistency of what a parent is supposed to do, you have to yourself elevate your seasoning. You can't be bland trying to parent seasoned youth. See, that's possibly the problem with society right now is you have bland individuals that refuse to elevate, trying to chastise seasoned youth that are up to par with what the times look like, what the times sound like. See, being up to par with what the times look like, what the times sound like, doesn't necessarily mean that you're participating in chaos, but you're participating in the lingo. Because every era, every decade, every century, every generation has a lingo. And as long as you're alive and you want to communicate with those who are populating the environment effectively or effectively, you have to master the lingo. See, this is the smallest stage of creativity and elevation, consistent elevation, consistently elevating, is to understand the tongue. Because the art of humanity, the art of universe, the art of unity is communication. That's the foundation. Because if there's no communication, there's nothing else. Even in the word community, commune. In the word communicate, commune. You have to commune in a sense of connection. Social organizations, street organizations, whatever we participate in, religious structures, they draw the people based upon the communication. They draw the people based upon the ability to speak into the hearts of the people. And some people are deceivers, but they understand the science that you have to be able to speak into the art or the heart of the people, you see, that you're speaking to. They have to feel what you're saying. See, nobody's walking around with the thous and these and thous and shouts and willeth. So you have to come up to par with the times. You have to elevate to the times. Matter of fact, it would even be wiser to elevate beyond the times. See, but when you're trained to not be creative, you become stagnant. When you're trained to not think beyond the box, you find your portion in the box and you stay there obstinately. People are telling you, eat better. You say it doesn't taste right. I don't like it. It's not enough variety. Well, the only reason that meat tastes good to you is because you season it. So whatever seasoning that you are using, because if you've ever ate plain meat, shit is horrible. Shit, I've tasted some stuff that some people have even seasoned because of their lack of creativity in seasoning. Because creativity and the elevation of creativity is also culturally. It's also cultural. From one culture to the next culture, based upon what will appease you and what will not. You see, the art of communication is also spiritual. The art of communication is also is body language, the way you move, the way you dress. You want to draw the youth of today dressing like you was in the 1980s, dressing like you was in the 1970s. You want to draw the youth of today, you have to draw their eyes first. Now, that doesn't mean dress like the artists are dressing, but be in the time. See, that's also called sacrifice too. That sense of creativity is called sacrifice. Not necessarily being so stuck in the love of your time and being capable of finding love in all times. See, because you can't remotely expect someone to hear you if you can't hear them. Because that's not how communication works. That's not how communing works. In order to commune, in order to communicate, in order to commit, you have to find yourself in that space. You have to be able to see things as a positive and a negative, in balance, in a very sense of balance, the essence of balance, order, reciprocity. You have to understand that times look different because we're evolving. Now, it doesn't mean that every single thing that people say out their mouth is appropriate or a sense of evolution, because some things are not appropriate. Even dress codes, some of them are not appropriate. Some of them are not approving. Some of them are not even creative. But this is where knowledge comes in. This is where wisdom comes in. This is where understanding comes in, because you, with knowledge, you will grasp the science of how there's a structure at play here, implementing ideas into the minds of today from ideologies of their past. Not the minds of today's past, but the minds of those who are deceptively inoculating past ideologies, self-centered past ideologies into the times of today, the youth of today, the people of today, and making them feel like they're being creative in their expressions, while in reality, because of their lack of information, they're not being creative. They're recreating ancient times. And it's not even the elevated ancient times. But in order for you to want them to see through the lens of elevation, you have to be also willing to show that elevation in an attractive form. Parenting is so important. And it doesn't make a difference what time you come into your acceptance of being a responsible parent. It just makes a difference that you come into it. And what you cannot do in being a responsible parent is blame the child for how they deal with you. It doesn't make a difference how young or how old the child is. You have a responsibility to sacrifice your personal pride, your personal ego for the child. Because whatever the child has become or will become started on you. Whatever you thought today or will become in the future started on you. You see, the lack of connection that started on you, the lack of commitment that started on you, the lack of consideration and respect and honor and love that started on you, the lack of even seeing you that started on you. And so it doesn't make a difference how much they elevate or how much they grow. The fixing of that is not on them, that's on you. You see, that's divinity. Overstanding that it was your beginning ripple effects that caused everything else that happened beyond you, within your circumference, your circle, your cipher. And so now it is on you, no matter how hard that deed is, not to flee from it, not to hide from it, not to fight against it, but to be creative in finding methods, not to be irritated, but to be creative in finding methods to restructure it, to fix it, to mend it. And I applaud everyone who has elevated. I applaud everyone who has livicated and dedicated themselves to the path of ascension, the path of elevation and evolution. See, because there's revolution and evolution and evolution and revolution. You cannot win a revolution without evolution. And there's no successful stage of evolution without a revolution. Stay focused, stay positive, stay around focused and positive people. Never lose who you are once you know who you are, and never sacrifice who you are for nothing and nobody. Don't just wake up, get out of the bed and stay out of the bed and assist others in rising from that slumber. Alafia farano wo monife re la ni de wope aka sima kayeri oyongo pona ka kayeri frama umuntu inga bantu lai ni waju koresehin fiete nu ya soto weto farako wajibu nakupenda usifiwe nakupenda usifiwe nakupenda usifiwe. Salute, peace and motivation, wholeness and motivation. Have an illuminating day. I love y'all immortally.